So this is the October 2020 edition of What I've Been Writing With. This is when I talk about the pens and pencils that I've been writing with this month. It's not in any way an endorsement of these pens. A lot of times they're not even good pens. They just happen to be the ones that I'm writing with for either by design or just by chance. So check back and see some of the older ones if you want to see what I've been writing with in previous months, or just continue watching and see what I've been writing with in October. First up, we have the Fisher Space Pen Infinium. This is a ballpoint pen that basically lasts for a lifetime of writing. Not the pen's lifetime, like your lifetime. It has a lifetime guarantee that Fisher has on all their pens, but also this one carries the lifetime guarantee is for the ink quantity as well. So you could write on this thing for a very long time. It's Fisher's standard sort of ink, but it basically lasts for as long as you last. And I've been using it a lot. Just I don't think I'm going to wear it down, but I've been using Fisher ballpoints a lot lately. I did a quick review of Fisher's telescopic pen, and I'm using that even more. But that one is it's in a jacket somewhere, so I figured I would talk about this one, which I have been using a fair bit as well. Not as much as the telescopic, which I actually prefer, and it costs like maybe a third of the Infinium. But the Infinium is very cool, and obviously it's very gifty. It looks really nice in this gold titanium nitride. I've been using a bunch of cheap pens just because I landed on one of my boxes of like when I buy 12 pens, because I wanted to test out something like the Uniball Onyx. I'll keep 2 close by, then I'll throw 10 of them somewhere in a bag. And I landed on one of those troves recently, so I've been working my way through some of those pens. So I'm using this Uniball Onyx Fine. It's kind of a low-end budget rollerball. I used to use a lot of these back in the day, but lately I tend to use, I guess, more exotic or more recently released pens and pencils. But this one's been okay. I don't really love it or don't hate it, but it's a kind of old school liquid rollerball. It's got a nice blue ink. It writes well. It's not very comfortable. It's a little bit on the thin side. I don't really like how it looks. It looks very utilitarian, but it really does do the job. And I've had one of these close to me for a good part of the month. But yeah, I don't really have so much to say about it. It's just it's a pen that writes and it lasts for a while. And usually it's sort of pen you lose or give away before it runs out. So it's fine, the Onyx. I'm sort of indifferent towards it, in case you can't tell. Another pen that I bought a box of is this. This is the Papermate Wright Bros or Wright Brothers or something like that. This pen it's like if you look on Amazon, you'll see that this ballpoint, it's sold in a box of maybe 40 or 50 for $6 or $7, maybe $5. It's basically as cheap as a pen can get. And I bought a box, and it seems like everywhere in the house these days, there's one of these just sitting next to me. So I've been using this pen a whole lot. It's been a weird month, not just as far as what I've been writing with, just where I've been running around, been very disjointed a couple weeks for me. So I've needed a lot of ballpoint pens just to be able to write on anything. And as we get to, I've been needing a lot of pencils for writing outside or writing on a piece of wood and things like that. So I've been using a lot of ballpoints, and this Papermate is a nice one, super cheap, does the job. It's not fun to write with. I don't enjoy using it, but it's very reliable. It lasts forever, and it's just sort of the utilitarian pen that I've needed lately. Usually when I do these videos, it's more about kind of the writing experience or kind of having a nice analog type tool, but sometimes it's just about taking quick notes and then running out the door, or having a piece of paper with you to take some notes on. And this is the sort of pen that does that really well. It's called the Wright Brothers. It's from Papermate. On Amazon, you can buy a giant box of them for like $5, $6. It's very cheap. And then I've been using pencils a lot this month just because I've been writing on all sorts of different things, and a pencil's good for writing on, like, I don't know, cardboard, drywall, whatever you need. And this isn't the specific pencil I've been using. You can see it's basically brand new, but I've been using a lot of these Musgrave pencils. I bought a giant box, or I bought a bunch of pencils from them. I bought these Tennessee Red, these cedar pencils, which are very nice. I bought some fancy pencils from them, and then I bought this pack of mixed pencils from them. I bought a lot of pencils in my Musgrave order, and I've been using them a whole bunch. I've been mainly using the cedar ones. I just recently sharpened up this harvest one. Looks pretty cool. But I've needed some pencils, and I've been enjoying the Musgraves. I don't think, for me, they're not particularly exceptional so far. They're good. I have no problems with them. It's not, I tend to use the Blackwing Palominos, which I think are quite cool. But Musgraves have been quite nice, and there's a lot of different types of pencils. You can see just here, this is like a starter pack from them. There's a big pencil, and then this, I don't know what this is, a choo-choo pencil, and a red pencil, a series, a scoring pencil, which is darker. I don't know. I'll do a review on all these in the future, but these guys make nice pencils, reasonably priced, and I've been enjoying using them. They've held up really well. Not been using a ton of fountain pens these days, but I've kept this Pilot Petit One close by. I like this one just because it's fun to write with, and it's always ready to go. Whether it's been in your pocket, bounce around all day, or it's been in your desk and you haven't touched it for 3 months, and you pick it up, it's ready to write. It's fun to write with. It's not like a gold nib, anything fancy. It's not as enjoyable to write with as a Pilot Custom 74 or anything like that, but it's just a smaller version of the Varsity or the V pen, and it's just a fun pen to write with. Something I would take notes with when I'm on a phone call, or I'm on hold and just jotting some stuff down or some to-dos. This is a great fountain pen for that. And I've never had any leaks from this one or anything, any sort of problems. I really like I like the Varsity and the V pen, but I do like this Petit One as well. This is a good pen to turn into an ink eyedropper conversion. I haven't done that just because the stock cartridge works really well. This doesn't use a normal Pilot cartridge though, so you have to get these little guys, which is a petite cartridge, but they work really well, and you can refill them easily. So you can put anything you want in there if you don't want to go out and buy more cartridges. And then I've been using these guys. This is a Sharpie 1.0mm SGL. I've been off of the big, thick roller balls for a while, and then when I was going through that big trove of pens, I found these Sharpies. It's a 1.0 roller ball, one of my favorite pens, or like the 1.0 millimeter roller ball, not specifically the Sharpie, but that size of roller ball is classically been one of my favorites. I haven't been using it as much, but whenever I kind of land on one, I kind of remember why I like the big, smooth fountain pen type writing of a roller ball like this one. And this one's like, it's not as good as an Energel or a Zebra 1.0 or some of those, but it's definitely very respectable. It's got a dark blue color, it rolls smoothly, and it's comfortable enough. I have no problem with it, and I don't have to baby it because I bought a like a 12 pack for like maybe $8, $10, I forget what. And yeah, it's just a solid pen. No complaints with this one. Not really exceptional, but I've been enjoying using it, and it's a nice alternative to like something like this. This is a Pentel Energel alloy that I kind of always have been on my desk, and it's been here. I've had a bunch of these, and they're kind of one of my go-tos. I usually put the 1.0mm refill in this, and it's great, but it's nice to switch things up a little bit too, and the SGL has been one of the ways I've been doing that. Before this, I was using the Pilot G2 a lot, which I hadn't really used in, every day. From everyday use, I haven't used in a couple years. Then just recently, not recently, I would say like at the beginning of the month, I was using this pen a lot. And this is a Parker Jotter, but it's in with the black metal bottom. It has this like, I think it's aluminum, anodized aluminum bottom in black, and the stainless steel, the classic stainless steel upper. And this is the one that's sold with the Parker gel refill in it. I've been swapped out the Parker gel refill for this Schneider Gellian, or Gellian, however you say that, 39, which is actually a pretty close match to the Parker Quink Flow gel or Quink gel. But this one has a more interesting color, I guess. It's really smooth. It's got a nice blue color. It's not as dark as the Parker, but I bought this pen because it was on sale. It's obviously a jotter. It's all metal, but without having the double stainless steel. And it came, instead of coming with the Quick Flow ballpoint refill, it came with the gel refill, which I had run out of Parker gel refill, and I was really enjoying it at the time, so I bought this one, and I've been using it a fair bit. I do like these Schneider Jelly refills. I talked about it a few months ago. Yeah, I don't know. I forget why I was talking about it, but oh, you know why? Because it was so close to the Pierre Cardin gel refill. But yeah, I really like the Parker Jotter. Obviously, I've talked about it many times on this channel. And if you are in the market for one or a second one, then try the gel refill. And some models are sold with it, and it's a really cool experience, a lot different than the standard Quick Flow. Obviously, it doesn't last as long. And then this is just kind of a weird pen I stumbled upon. It's from Monteverdi. It's called the OneTouch Stylus. So OneTouch is Monteverdi's line of retractable pens. They even have a OneTouch fountain pen called the Engage, which I did a review of a few months ago. And this is the Stylus model. It's probably sold when people are using a lot of styluses. You don't really see too many stylus pens these days, but it's a larger pen, all metal, heavy taper in that sort of spike type shape. Big metal piece here. Kind of resembles a retro 51 Tornado. It doesn't have the stylus piece that I lost at some point, but it doesn't matter because it's not like I use a pen to like poke around on my iPhone or something like that. I'm not really a big stylus guy, but I like this pen. It has some weight to it. It's one of the few tapered pens like this that I'd like. Usually I find these to be too top heavy. That's generally the case here as well, but there's two things I like about this pen, and one is that it uses a standard Parker G2 style refill. I just put an old Parker Quick Flow ballpoint in here, probably the one out of one of my jotters, just to have something to write with. And then I really like the click on this pen. It yeah, see, it definitely does this, where it doesn't want to go back in the housing properly. This is a questionable design, so I would definitely, this is not a pen I recommend, but I really do like the click action on this pen, so I've been using it more as I would say like a fidget toy than an actual pen, because this click action drives me crazy. If you ever take the front off, it just doesn't want to go back. It's not a bad pen otherwise. Anyway, I'll solve it some other time. The point is that this click action is just really nice and really smooth. It just feels like it's all metal and overbuilt, and it's a very satisfying feeling. And it's a lot different than the click on a jotter. This is a great click. It's like kind of a very clicky click. But this one, sorry about that. This one is less clicky. It's a smooth action. It's really fun to use. Anyway, so those are the pens that I've been writing with this month. Hopefully you enjoyed this, and thanks for watching.